In many of my previous videos already on my channel, I show how to drag and drop nodes into EVE-NG, Vmx, VQFX, maybe one day I'll show VSRX, but I've never shown how to get the image file off of Juniper.net and prepare it under the hood on the Linux command line in EVE-NG. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to take that TGZ image file off of Juniper's website and how to secure copy it into the EVE-NG Linux environment under the hood, under the graphical interface, and how to prepare it, how to split it into multiple files, and those being the virtual control plane and the virtual forwarding plane, and how to get those in the proper directories and just get it all done under the hood so that it shows up in the graphical interface of EVE-NG. Furthermore, I'm going to show you how to have multiple versions of Junos so that you can have a multi-boot VMX. You would just be able to shut it down, select which version of Junos you want a certain VMX node to boot up into, and away you go. All right, so this will enable you to test different versions of Junos that may have newly added feature sets or bug fixes, or for whatever reason you need multiple versions. I'm here to show you how to do that. All right, so sit back, enjoy, and away we go. Here's my EVE-NG lab. I have a single VMX, which is comprised of a virtual control plane. If you right click it and go to edit, it shows the Juniper Vmx virtual control plane, VCP. And here's the image. It only shows one version, 17.4R1.16. All right. And if you right click on this, is the virtual forwarding plane. Go to edit, see Juniper Vmx VFP. And again, there's only one version of Junos selectable for the virtual forwarding plane. I want to upgrade the software on this and give it a different version. And so let's get down to that. All right. I just have a little vanilla Cisco IOS router hanging off the bottom of this at 3725, and that doesn't really have anything to do with the VMX up here. So that's just another router I've got hanging off of there. Just disregard that for now. Go to Juniper's website, go to support, down to all downloads. Right there, and type a product name, Vmx. You'll see hits on two different options, Vmx or Vmx Evaluation. You're going to have correct licensing or a support contract to get the different versions available of Vmx. If you click on that, Vmx, you have options for Vmx and also service releases for bug fixes. But you'll see you've got 21.3 all the way down to 15.1. Okay, you're going to have the correct access to be able to download that though. Now, if we look at Vmx Evaluation, there's a subset of those versions available. And it doesn't show service releases, it just shows Vmx Eval. And it starts at 18.2 all the way down to 15.1. And you might recall in the EVE-NG lab that I have 17.4R1 already. This one, 17.4R1. And my phone is ringing. Okay, and so it says product not available anymore. Interesting. So let's go to 18.2. And there we go. So we're going to try 18.2R1. Okay. Now I understand you can use ESXi or KVM in EVE-NG, but I'm going to go with KVM. Click TGZ. Brings you to a... Sorry, cut off my recording there. It brings you to a download page. You just agree to the license, and then you click a link that says download the file, and you get this VMX bundle 18.2R1.9.tgz is going to be downloaded. All right, so I'm going to click Save File, and it is downloading the VMX bundle. Okay, file is done downloading, 4.6 gig. Now you need to SSH this to the hosting operating system that EVE-NG is sitting on using secure copy. So I'm going to use WinSCP to do that. Okay, after you've opened up WinSCP, navigate to the directory where the VMX bundle is, and here's your remote EVE-NG home directory. That's where I'm going to transfer it to. And then just drag and drop and let it copy over. Okay, it's been transferred to my home directory on my EVE-NG server. There it is. And if you go to the command line, I SSH'd to the EVE-NG server, ls-la. Here it shows it with red text. All right, it's in red text, and it's going to change in just a moment. I just wanted you to see that first. Right-click on the file, Properties, octal value 0644. We need to change that. I'm not sure if this has something to do with the file permissions that you see in the EVE-NG instructions at EVE-NG's website, but let's change this. I think it's 0755. Okay, 0755. Click OK. Now when we go to the command line and we hit the up arrow ls-a, now we see it's in green text. All right, so you have changed some of the read, write, execute permissions from what they previously were. If you go to eve-ng.net and go to documentation, how to load images, and then go down to Vmx. Right here, Juniper Vmx. There are some instructions here. Also some information. It talks about the VMX bundle that we had previously downloaded, and it shows you that embedded in that file is a virtual control plane and a virtual forwarding plane. For those two different nodes that you will be getting familiar with when creating a VMX, it's made up of two different nodes, the control plane and the forwarding plane. But then down here it says create a temporary working directory, make the directory and then change into it, and then proceed with the instructions. So I have sudoed to root, and I'm going to make directory, I'm just going to do it like they say, ABC, and change directory to ABC. All right, and then I'm going to transfer the file over. So I'm going to move the file from my home directory where I had it secure copied it into the current directory. Move that, ls-la, and we see it's no longer in my home directory, but it is now in the current temporary ABC directory. Following the instructions on Eve's website, tar xvf, and then the VMX bundle name, tar xvf, and the VMX bundle name, and there we go, it starts unpacking it. We see some image files, some qcal2 files. All right, and ls-la. Now there's a VMX directory, cd vmx, and there's some more directories, cd images, ls-la, and there we go. So there's some images. There's the qcal2 file. All right, and then there's the virtual forwarding plane file. Comparing that to the Eve website, where the instructions are. That was just a regular ls. Let's just look at it like that. Easy comparison. It shows a list of metadata files and image files, much like what we see here. All right. Following the instructions further, create the virtual control plane image folder. So I'm just going to copy this, being careful to change the name in the instruction to be the version that I currently have. So let's paste that. Let's well, I don't want to autocomplete. That's something previous that I had done. So we're going to change it to VCP dash, instead of 17.1R18, which is this instruction on the website, we're going to change it to 18.2R1.9 dash domestic dash VCP. Okay, now that we've made that directory, let's carry on. Looking at the website, it says copy the image to the VCP image folder. So we're going to copy Junos Vmx. And you're copying the QCal2 file to that directory you previously created. Like that. And you're adding the word virtioa QCal2. Okay, so you're basically copying that file over to be another file name. Like this. Hit enter. Done. In this next instruction, you'll see I make an error by copying right off of the EVNG website into the command line of my SSH session. And I failed to remember that there's a different virtual forwarding plane. Hey, that was just a heads up. So watch each segment through before you actually execute it. So when I'm making these videos, I show some of the errors that you may encounter. So just make sure you watch the whole thing through, and you'll see exactly what you need to do to be successful in creating these VMX nodes. And then you're creating two more files, virtiob and virtioc, shown here. Virtiob QCal2, virtioc QCal2, and you're basically taking these other files, Vmx HDD, and copying it over as virtiob, and the other one, metadata USB RE, as virtioc. So go through those instructions as well. As you can see, I've done that. So this was the virtioa instruction. Here's the virtiob instruction. Here's the virtioc instruction, just like was on the website. 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3 are done. Now we need to create the virtual forwarding plane image folder. Okay. Being careful to change from what the instructions are on the website, 17.1R1.8, to make sure we use the version that we are doing, 18.2R1.9 dash domestic dash VFP. Make directory. Okay, done with that. Now let's copy the images to the VFP folder. So that is this instruction right here. So here's where we're copying that file, virtual forwarding plane image file, and we're putting it in that newly created Vmx VFP directory that we created, 18.2R1.9 domestic VFP, and it's another virtioa QCal2 file, but in this case it's not the same one because it's in a different directory, and we're copying over a different file than we had done up here. This was all the control plane stuff. Now we're doing the forwarding plane one in this new forwarding plane directory. Let's do that. Oh wait, it says no such directory. What did we do wrong? domestic VFP. Let's go back and look at what we did. Oh, I had copied the command right off the website. Right here, I had copied this command directly from here, when in reality it was a different virtual forwarding plane file that we have. So let's let that auto-complete. There we go. Now we can see it auto-completed using the one that we actually have. Now we can copy all this other stuff, paste that, hit enter, and there we go. Okay, so we have that copied. Moving on, step number 5 says remove the ABC folder and fix the permissions. So cd rm-rf root ABC. So here we see when we do that, cd takes us back to root. If I look at lsla root ABC, I see that that's where I was doing some of the temporary file operations, and so let's get rid of that. rm-rf. It is now gone. Okay. And now let's fix the file permissions. Copy and paste this. Be patient with that. It usually takes about 10 seconds. Now, let's go back and look at EVNG and let's see what we have as options for operating systems. Okay, so back over in the VMX lab, right-click on the control plane, go to Edit, and looky there, we have a new option for running Junos 18.2r1.9. Select that, scroll down, say Save. That's an old lab. Scroll back down to where we were. All right, whoa. There we go, there we are. Right click on it, edit, just to make sure that it kept it. Okay, there we go. So it is set to boot 18.2r1.9. And so let's boot these up and see what happens. Okay, I started both of these as indicated in the color blue. They are booting up. This one is the virtual control plane. And as you can see there, you're seeing all kinds of messages about 18.2, Junos 18.2. So already signs of success that it's booting up the new version. Okay, I'm at a login prompt. Root is the login, and it shows 18.2r1.9. So this is good. We're already getting some of these default messages that you often see. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Show system information, 18.2r1.9. All right, cool. So we've got it booted up. And just want to mention a few things. So a few minutes into booting, we were still seeing show chassis FPC with slot 0 empty. Finally, show chassis FPC said a slot was present, absent. Excuse me, I cut myself off there. I was saying that the slot 0 line card, virtual line card, which is the forwarding plane, shows up as online and absent. That's where you want to be. Just be patient with it. It takes a few minutes to boot up. Okay, now, I've now shut down the nodes, and I just wanted to show you that initially, after making the control plane 18.2 version, after selecting that and booting it up, it would not boot up. What I wanted to show you was I needed to wipe it. So go ahead and wipe the node. All right, are you sure you want to wipe it? Yes, I already did that. And then when you highlight them, right click, start selected nodes, then you get a message that they're starting, and this time they actually start. Like I said, previously, the forwarding plane started up, but not the control plane. Now, you may remember We changed the control plane to 18.2, but the forwarding plane is still the previous Junos version of 17. And so you can run different versions in the control plane and the forwarding plane, and it's okay. Hopefully you got a config backup before you have to wipe that node. And as you can see now, the test router is blue, and I have configured an IP address on Vmx and on the test router, and I can now ping. There's some successful pinging between the two. But let's shut all these down, highlight them, stop selected, and verify once more that the control plane is 18.2R1. The forwarding plane is still 14R1. Excuse me, 17.4R1. So just to show that you can run different versions on those control plane and forwarding plane within the confines of a Vmx. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and let's upgrade or change the boot version for the forwarding plane. There we go. We have 18.2R1.9 domestic VFP virtual forwarding plane. Let's save that. Go back and check it. It is in fact 18.2R1.9 domestic VFP. So let's go ahead and boot it with the new version. Highlight both. And you know what? I don't know if we need to wipe. I never configure the forwarding plane. You know, I'll go into the command line. It says Wind River. It's a low level CLI. I've never known any reason that I recall that I need to configure it. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it just to be clean. And once doing that, let's highlight both. Let's start selected. All right, we're booting up the VFP and the VCP. Click on the VCP. Let's watch that boot. I'll start the test router just so I can have something to ping also. That thing boots really fast. It's a lightweight iOS. Okay, I'm at the command line. Oops, wrong commands. Show interface terse. Looking for gigabit Ethernet ports. Show chassis FPC. Again, it takes a while. Looking for slot 0. Present absent. There we go. Present absent. Looking for gigabit ports. We are waiting for, there we go. Gigabit ports pop up, and there's our pings from iOS. So it's all running good now, and we now have our new version of Junos 8, version 18 on the forwarding plane and the control plane. Hey, I hope this was helpful. Subscribe if you're not a member of my channel already. Turn on those notifications so that you can be notified when I drop new videos. And I hope y'all are sharing this with other people that you think might benefit from these videos also. And hey, as always, I look forward to making the next video. All right, bye-bye.